Poll question from the first hour, Satan, and then hour 2 honors.
The more annoying sound in sports, a tinny rim in basketball or the metal bat in baseball. It's gone back and forth. It's been about a 51% swinging either way between the tinny rim or the metal bat.
Okay.
Very, very close poll question.
All right.
Super close.
All right.
Then we have another one here from Todd. Would you prefer having an automated system that calls balls and strikes on every MLB pitch? Yes or no?
I would lean towards yes. I think you could make this not theatrical, but you could make this part of the broadcast where you're looking up at the Jumbotron and you're going to be able to see what is a ball and a strike. You don't need the umpire to call out ball or strike because soon as the pitch is thrown, you'll look at the Jumbotron and you'll be able to tell if it's a ball or strike, if the batter doesn't swing. And I think we're getting closer to this. Because what we're finding out is, the automatic balls and strikes, nobody has, there's no human element to that of, that guy's a Hall of Famer, I'm going to give him that pitch. Or that pitcher, he's a Hall of Famer, I'm going to give him that pitch. You don't have that. It's just, here are the parameters for a strike zone. Now, the TV coverage already gives you sort of a strike zone. You get to see it. But once again, you have to understand that camera is not right behind the pitcher. So it's off to the right-hand side of the pitcher. So you don't get a true strike zone. You may go, boy, that's a strike. But in reality, it might not be. With the automatic, the ABS system, I'm all for it. Let's do it. Put it in place. Now, you still need, everybody gets caught up with, it's a robot. It's not a robot. All it is a system just like tennis has. Tennis doesn't have any robots, but they have the same parameters of ball in or out. And if you have it, you have to have an umpire there for fair and foul, something on the mound, or, if a batter tips a catcher's glove, plays at the plate. You still have to have an umpire there. Take the balls and strikes out of this and make it a production where you put it up on the Jumbotron and everybody gets to follow along with it. And I think you would be surprised. There were 5 consecutive calls in a game yesterday where the umpire missed all 5 in a row because they show what the strike zone is. And he missed 5 in a row, and then he got the 6th one right, and then the crowd cheered. So you can have what you think is a strike zone. I don't want your strike zone. I want our strike zone, everybody's strike zone. Now, it does change. If Altuve or Aaron Judge is up, you have to adjust. But they're able to do this. And they're doing it in the minor leagues. They're doing it in spring training. I'm okay with it. Get the call right. If I can get the call correct, and these umpires do an amazing job. Because I'm looking at, maybe they get 96% of the calls right. That's really at a high level. But if you can get all of them right, balls and strikes, why wouldn't you do that? And I go back to all of the gambling money. You got to get these things right. Now, you still have the human element. Play at the plate with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. You still have to have the home plate umpire. So it's not a robot. It's just overhead Big Brother watching. Yeah, Paulie.
So with this new ABS challenge, we got this from MLB. Each team starts the game with 2 challenges. Mm-hmm. When the batter wants to challenge it, he taps his helmet and they challenge it. So if he gets it wrong, they're down to 1 challenge. If he gets it wrong again, they're down to 0. But at bat, you talked about it. If you get it right when you challenge, you keep your 2 challenges and you keep going forward with 2 challenges.
Yeah, I like it. Once again, if we have the technology, use the technology. And baseball has the technology. But we get, once again, I said this yesterday, we think it's part of the charm of baseball that, that guy has his own strike zone, or, hey, that guy wasn't out, but he called him out. The neighborhood play at second base. Let's just get these calls right. Nothing wrong. You still have the human element of this. I don't know if they'll get to, and you could, have a reviewable play. If there's a force out and you think they missed it, or a tag up, for a fly ball, sac fly, and you can still review that. You can question that. But balls and strikes, Let's implement it. Yes,
I mean, it's been tested in AAA.
yeah.
Right? So it's not sneaking up on anybody within baseball, and they know exactly how well it works and how it impacts the game.
Pitch clock worked, right? Nobody's complaining about that. There were a lot of things that were introduced in Major League Baseball the last couple of years, and I'm okay with ABS. You know, I think the word robot was, that was introduced, and I go, no, it's not robotic. All it is a camera is going to watch. Just make sure that all of the ballparks have the same technology, the same equipment. That's the only thing that I would guard against, because there are times when you'll watch an NFL game, they don't have the same number of cameras at a game that, let's say it's the Packers against the Cowboys. Well, they're going to have more cameras there. Or a playoff game. You just want to make sure that each game is featuring the same kind of equipment. Yes, Todd.
So the technology will tell the umpire what to call. The umpire will still be there to announce the balls and strikes.
Yeah, if he wants to go, they're going to put it up on the Jumbotron, or they'll say it in his ear, be like, strike, ball.
Because you do that great hit, we're still going to have like those sound effects from the umpire, even though it's being told by a computer deciding whether it's a ball strike?
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Because you kind of miss that. I like when you do that.
Yeah, but you miss the grown man in a baseball uniform going out to home plate and kicking dirt on an umpire.
Yes, I love when a manager loses their mind and they just start throwing bats and balls from the dugout and they get right in the face and cursing out the ump and they got to be held back and another ump is like trying to calm them down. I just think that's great. I love it.
It doesn't happen anymore.
It's very sad that it doesn't.
No, it's not sad. First of all, you got a grown man in a baseball uniform. That's always weird. This out-of-shape guy, and he's going to waddle out there to home plate, and he's going to argue, and I'm going to turn my hat backwards, and I'm going to get in your face there. It's stupid.
It's hysterical.
It's sad, grown man. I'm going to pick up this base, and I'm going to throw it. And, oh, my God. Yes, Marvin.
Tiny correction. They're all grown men that are playing Major League Baseball, but it's just a really grown man.
Old man.
Right.
Yes.
And they got numbers. That was always my big, Joe Torre, why are you wearing number 6? Why do managers have numbers?
Yeah. Now I'm okay with I'm okay with a number. Maybe make all managers have the same number. Yeah. But I would not want to see me in a baseball uniform running out to home plate. Yes, Paul.
I looked back at the rules for this ABS challenge. The batter has to tap his head immediately after the umpire's call of ball or strike. And if you don't, they could wave it off. You can't pause. Also, the dugout can't tap their heads like, hey, man, tap your head, tap your head. That is not allowed.
They're not allowed to influence the batter?
Exactly. It's in the language. The manager and the other players cannot influence the batter. So it can't be any head tapping from the dugout.
Do you think the Astros will abide by that?
Dang, not necessary.
Whoa,
Rampant head
Move
tappers.
on.
My
Move
bad.
on.
All right, move on.
Move on.
Too soon already.
Way too
Yeah,
soon.
too soon. Move on.
Just happened.
Yeah.
Let it breathe a little bit.
Yes, Eaton.
I think, man, like, just do the automated stuff. Tapping your head, but you're only allowed to do it twice. But if you get it to right, you get to do it. What are we doing?
Can you tap your
What are we
head and
doing?
rub your stomach at the
I
same
know.
time?
What are we doing? What are we doing? By the way, I can't stop thinking about, like, Phil Jackson sitting on the bench in warm-ups or something, or wearing his uniform still, even though he's at a certain age. Like, can you imagine if Pat Riley, instead of the suit and slick back hair, he was in a Lakers uniform?
Hilarious.
Or then a Heat? Like, what are we doing? Why would he do that?
If they wore warm-ups, I'd be okay with it. But I don't want to see some 65-year-old guy's legs there. Yes, Todd.
And their jersey tank top with their big 70-year-old muscles. That would be entertaining, too.
Andy Reid should be doing,
Oh.
calling the game in a full, helmet, pads, everything.
Well, he looked like he did in the punt, pass, and kick contest when he was 13.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
What are we doing?
making these coaches wear their uniform. Yes, Marvin.
In baseball, we're going to get tired of guys tapping their helmets like we get tired of NBA players gesturing, with the finger.
Oh, yeah.
Replay that, challenge that. It's going to get old real fast.